Hello guys, welcome to the Trading Parrot. It has been an incredible day for Bitcoin. Waking up this morning at 75.6k and just spending the day chilling out somewhere around the all-time high. It's something that we've been envisioning for a long time. It's been 8 months roughly, and in today's video I want to focus on what is more important. What do we need to look up for now for signs of weakness if there was to be a pullback? Let's remember that this has been an enormous move, and there has to be some sort of retest, or at least it's very high likely. Nothing is guaranteed, but if it happened, we better be prepared. In the video this morning, I look into deep detail at the weekly chart, the monthly chart, everything that has changed today. If you are really a hardcore fan of Bitcoin or a pro trader, I recommend that you watch both videos. Yeah, sure, you'll be spending 40 minutes in a row just listening to a parrot, but there is so much to process today. Many things are changing, and in a good way, so it's also enjoyable. Let me say this, it feels like a victory. I don't know how you feel, let me know in the comments, but whenever I look at the Bitcoin pattern, this megaphone, I cannot just start smiling like if I was an idiot or something. Maybe we are all idiots in this space. There's something romantic about it. Anyways, let's go back, let's be serious, and let's look at the charts. Guys, if you like this type of content, make sure that you're subscribed to this channel. Hit the notification bell so you get notified every time I put out one of these videos. This morning's video got 263 likes. Guys, what's going on? We are putting an all-time high. We've been talking about the megaphone pattern, doing this today. I think today we deserve as a channel at the very least 300 likes in each of the videos so we can continue growing the channel and see how are we gonna continue doing in the rest of the bull market. Someone left a comment in my video playing the song Can't Take My Eyes Off You, dedicated to the Bitcoin pattern, saying thank you for dedicating the song to Bitcoin hours before the breakout of the megaphone pattern. And I almost feel like singing the song had some sort of effect. Being romantic to Bitcoin right before a breakout, maybe that's the trick, who knows. I continue to look into how things are going with Google Trends on searches on Bitcoin. What I want to see really is not just retail obviously searching for Bitcoin, because that doesn't increase the price, but a few more arguments that confirm that some cash might be going as well into retail's pocket, because if that's the case, then they have fuel to put into Bitcoin and to continue pumping. I've been looking into what's going on with the ETF's flows, and on the 4th and 5th we have some decent outflows in here. 541 is pretty big, and that happened 2 days ago. Of course, it hasn't done much damage, because to be honest, after having so many days of 400s and 800s, almost 900s, having just one day of 500 followed by 100 is not really a big deal. And if you look at this chart, you can see what I mean, right? After we have a parabolic move like this, some people took some profits in here, and I think we can definitely afford a pullback of a 10% after a move pretty much vertical. And tonight, depending on where we close the price, we are about to get a bull cross on the MACD. This one is at the top of the range and right after having some red candles in the histogram, so pretty much looking like we are going into resistance. Just a note, I'm saying I'm not calling for a top yet. Let's look at the rest of the charts and everything. We can see that we have though a huge candle volume, not as big as the 49k as I was mentioning in the morning, but this morning we were roughly around here. I remember it was similar to the one next to it, the next green one, but less than half than the red one of the capitulation of 49. And I think we are starting to talk in here, because this is not 100% the same size of this, but it's definitely more than double the current average, which is this white line. And that, to me, I buy it as volume confirm the breakout on the daily. It's 7 p.m. so we still have 5 hours to confirm how high we're gonna get on the daily. Obviously, the highest and the largest this green candle, the more faces are gonna turn and think, hey, am I missing something? And that is the moment where we wanna get. We want to, at all costs, today and this week, close both candles, leaving no doubts that Bitcoin is due for a massive bull rally. Whether we get it or not, that's another story. But the advertising that comes with that is huge. Remember that the greed and the fear are emotions, and the fear of missing out. I have experienced it in the past, and I know for certain that it was more painful than on the bear market to not having closed a position when it was the right time to close it. On the bear market, I just say, it's okay, I sell it later. In the bull market, to close a position and then seeing a pump is one of those things that really make people angry. And I have seen on Twitter a bunch of dudes really angry, and I almost feel like, dude, are you doing okay? It's just price action. Looking at the 4 hour, you can see that we have now this trend line. This is a new line we put this morning. We are using that line to understand the healthiness of the move. How do we do that? If we cross below this line, we start saying that we have lost some momentum. Does that mean that you need to sell? No, you are just being informed you lost some momentum. The price action might still do something like this, find resistance and then dump, or even fake out and continue going higher. But it's good to be paying attention to momentum. Momentum is on your side and is as helpful in my perception as looking at the candles, at the actual price action. What you can see in here is that we face resistance at 74.6, 4 candles of 4 hours in a row. And right now, as I'm shooting this video, the very tiny bull flag that got forming here is breaking out. Actually, this had a shape like a triangle with the resistance, something like this. And at the moment, we are above it. We need to wait until candle confirmation, closing the candle, which is in less than an hour. Closing above 74.6, it is pretty bullish, but we want to close as high as possible to prevent a bearish divergence in here, because you can see that the price is going higher in here, but the bearish divergence is because the RSI is lower than the relative in here. Beginners tend to read bearish divergences as the end of the world. I am here to confirm that when Bitcoin pumps, we see constantly bearish divergences. Do we action them? No. We take note. We observe. Every single move higher and higher, you tend to lose a little bit of momentum. When do we action that? I start getting worried when we start crossing the line, as I said. And after some bearish divergences, that's also an area of concern. And getting to the top of the range at 83 will be another source of concern, because that will mean that we are too extended. Can we get higher? Yes, but our chances start getting slimmer the higher we go above this band that I'm calculating using statistics. Moving on to the daily time frame, you can see that the area in here once again in our channel was the best area to buy. I criticized this moment in here when we were at 56 before, because we were below resistance, which was 70k. Once we broke above that, we got the moon to go higher. And one thing I was wondering before shooting this video is if we were lucky to see the RSI hit the top of this channel. Once again, we have already done it 1, 2, and if we do it here, it will be the 3rd time, because in these times we didn't manage. But if we were to hit 77 on the daily RSI, guess where are we getting? I am doing the reverse RSI calculation in here, and at the moment that takes us into 81k. That's mind-blowing. When we started observing this channel, I was never expecting that we were going to be, after August, in November, still in this channel. It's crazy. And the open interest has been magnificent for forecasting what happened to Bitcoin. Bitcoin around here on 18th of October, we were at a price of 68. Still no all-time high. You can see it clearly. But we said, if the open interest repeats the past performance, which is to anticipate what the price is going to do, then we're gonna get a breakout above all-time highs, because we managed to hold candles in late October in here, we held support, then we ended up having that all-time high in this candle, not in this. This actually was slightly $200 below the all-time high. This is the one that did the job. And potentially, if we close the open interest at $24.5 billion, that will be the highest candle close of open interest in the history of Bitcoin. And I continue to follow many influencers that when we were here talking about the open interest, they just have one way of seeing the open interest. Open interest is high. Don't do anything. Sell everything. That's not the way to do it. I agree. We are in a very high area of open interest. The risk is huge. There will be shake-offs, pullbacks, scary moves, but we enter below 60s and we don't care. I mean, I don't care. I'm not entering here. I am following each and every single swing trade, and if I see something extremely great opportunity, I'll be the first one to tell you I'm adding or I'm reducing my position. At the moment, I'm just enjoying the gains. I already did all my job of sharing each individual entry with you guys. A 49, 53, 6, 57 and 59 or 58 was it? Anyways, those were the 4 entries. Distribution, no signs. This got reduced in here. I received some notifications from CryptoQuant saying that 1 billion was withdrawn from exchanges, and that is happening today. So that's definitely helping for the indicator to balance those early deposits that we were seeing yesterday. Luckily now we are in the same spot in here. There has been some deposits. We have retraced in the ratio from 0.39 into 0.67. That means that relative to a few days ago, now we have a bit more of deposits. But that is what happens in this range in here. And we are within the same range as well in terms of ratio. So nothing here indicates that we must dump hard. Long-term holders continued just to hold, nothing new. Megaphone pattern looking better than ever. Look at this. We are about to eat that wick there and just have a pure middle finger, massive green candle to show to all the shorts that were constantly in my timeline telling me that they're gonna add more to their shorts. I think about them very often these days. Look at the RSI on the weekly, how things are evolving by the hour. Today we are above the resistance. This resistance was previously support in all the bull market. We lost it in June, and coming back above it is pretty exciting, but it's also very scary. If I had entered in a position at 70k, let's say, and I was seeing that this is testing that resistance on the weekly, I will pay a lot of respect to that resistance. By the end of the week, it might show us that 63 is where we need to stop in the price, because that's the resistance. I have it at 64. Well, 64 or 63 is more or less the same. 64 is 75.1, 63 is 74.3. So you pick your poison, but that is currently the weekly resistance. You don't take note, that's your own responsibility. On the scalping chart, for pretty much a week, we haven't been able to use it very well. Apart from the 67k in here and the warning of the 65, we don't have much to say. We are in the middle of a pump about to in price exploration actually, so nothing much to expect here from the short term in terms of liquidity. There's nothing above it. I mean, look at this, it's beautiful. How many times in the past 8 months we've been in the scalping chart with no liquidity? Never. Enjoy it. And on the 4-hour swing chart, we can see these are the scary areas in case there was anything in our way. Remember, tomorrow we have 99.2% chances of ease in terms of rate cuts. That is at 25 basis points, if I remember right. Yesterday it was 97, so it became pretty much 100% expectations on this. And we can see that the price keeps kicking up as I'm recording. It's impressive. Now it's at 75.4, and I might get away with recording live in here. Not live, but keeping in the recording the moment we took 77k. I hope I managed to see it and I don't miss it, because that is something that I wouldn't forgive myself to miss. And another thing that you don't want to miss is the size of the liquidations of those shorts. This is just something worth laughing. Relative to the liquidations of the longs, the largest one we have here was in July on the 4th, and then we have something that is half of that multiple times, and always the longs. And now look at the shorts. This line is reaching 1725, and the largest long liquidation is just 755. So this is more than double the largest long liquidation in the past 8 months. This is precisely what we were talking about for many months, which is there is a stake here, billions, and right now it's a nightmare on the street. As I show you in the morning, the alpha worked out perfectly well coming from longs and shorts delta, the net. Interestingly, we are not getting into the top of the range in terms of longs, which is crazy, because you will expect if we are getting into all-time high, we are at 75k, getting into 76 and 77, and still the delta of longs versus shorts is still biased very close to the red. So that means that there's still loads of shorts that are waiting for their turn to get kicked right there. And that is absolutely evident in the chart here. We have a big chunk here with liquidations totaling 88,000, 93,000. These numbers we never talk about. We never saw them live being liquidated. We only saw 30s, 40s, and we were already thinking, oh, that is incredibly huge. But this is double anything that we have seen in this channel. And the selling wall at the moment is moved to 75.9k. We have 87 million there holding the price. And it's mind-blowing, the change in direction of the largest whales in crypto. Those are the brown ones. Brown whales hold over 1 million to 10 million. And look how they changed their minds. The purple ones, which we always say, these are the second largest, and we always say that they lead the pack. What do we mean by that? During this whole move, appreciate that they are constantly doing higher highs and higher lows. They are in an uptrend of accumulation. The brown ones are larger ones, but a few days before they sold a lot more than the purple ones. And what happened with the brown ones? They just bought everything they sold and even more, making a new high. And that proves that the purple ones remain the ones that lead the pack in the right direction. We've been noticing that pattern for quite a while, and I think I borrowed that alpha from Keith from Material Indicators. He's one of the founders of this particular system called FAR charts that belongs to Material Indicators, which, by the way, in the description there's always discounts, not just for this but for every single chart that I'm showing in here that is paid with a subscription. And once again, guys, we don't have any fair value gap above the price. That is an obvious situation if you are putting a new all-time high. Now we have all the liquidity to the downside, and it's up to the price to decide if it wants to take some of this and bring back balance so we can have a healthy move up, or if it just wants to go parabolic and forget about this until the bear market, or if we are going to go sideways for a little bit until we take 80 to 82k. Remember, there we have then this liquidity that now it's kind of spanning beyond 82k. Now it's up until 83k, and we have green up until 88k. God, my God, this is crazy. And we continue with blue up until 92k. Wow, these shorts are really, really determined that we have to collapse. And to be honest, there are some positive moves in terms of the 4 pillars: dollar, gold, Federal Reserve, balance sheet, and the global liquidity index. I mentioned those improvements in the morning. We have some new developments with gold that I'm gonna cover just in a minute. But I have always been very clear, if we do a rally, this is a rally of institutions. Retail is still not here. They still don't have that cash in their pocket to be big part of this. Some people do, but very little people really. And the delta on high blue capital, we can see that now it's at records in green, putting longs in big risk. That is typical during a new all-time high. In all-time highs, it's not the time to buy. It's the time to take profits. It's the time to hold if you are in a long-term holding strategy. If you are on a swing trade, you need to be going in circles in your room thinking, when am I going to take profit? That is how you deal with a swing trade in a moment like this. Big risk, because these people, this delta, these are open positions with futures. These are people that will take profits. And as you can see here, the CBD on spot has spiked. But do we have a complete shift in terms of spot buying pressure? Do you see spot buying pressure here? I don't. Do I see it in December? Into March? Sure. We reverse part of what we sold in the bear market in spot. But in here, we're just barely, if you want, having the beginning of a breakout. I accept that. But will this hold the price if futures close their positions? I don't know. Maybe if the ETFs continue to buy like mental tomorrow, which is what pretty much caused this breakout. I've seen the ETFs accumulating all this range like crazy. Guys, today is the last day of trading different discount. Cyber Monday, very low prices to see liquidation pools. Get it for 6 months, for 1 year, get the best discounts, and if you use the link in the description, you get additional 15%. But you need to be quick because tonight is the last day of Cyber Monday. Look at that, 75.3 1.76, getting very close to the CPR level. The CPR first resistance in November is a condition for us to have continuation in December, in January, in February. CPR model says break the first level of resistance, the first green, and happy days in the next month. More details in the video in the morning. Also in the morning I covered the 4 pillars. How are things evolving? The only one I'm gonna cover today, actually I need to cover these two, dollar and gold. Dollar is breaking out to the upside if we close the week like this on the RSI. The 58 is not holding in this live candle. We have until Sunday to go back below 58 and see a rejection. We wanna see the dollar weakening at this point in time. Otherwise, Bitcoin is gonna have to have an arm wrestling against the dollar, which gives the value to Bitcoin, right? We don't want the dollar to become strong while Bitcoin is rallying. That tends to last not very long for one of them. And gold, we have good news. If we close like this, finally, on Sunday, we have a breakdown of gold. Guaranteed? No. Likelihood? Doubles? Sure. Triples? Maybe. But a breakdown of gold was very healthy for this move in here in the previous bull market. So that is good development towards people potentially thinking, I'm not gonna hold my gold. Now is the time to be all risk on, and this is an indication of that spirit. Also, the price of gold going down causes also more liquidity, and that liquidity spreads across all assets, not just Bitcoin, obviously. And I want to give you, just for pleasing your eyes tonight, I want to show you the 4 spread charts that we always cover. Spread charts is when you divide one asset by another one in the chart. You just go to the chart and you type down BTC, for example, divided by VIX, and that's how you get the spread of VIX. You get the spread of the Federal Reserve balance sheet, their liabilities, and you get Nasdaq and the dollar index. And we're gonna have a moment, a guilty pleasure if you want, because this is a breakout that we call out in September in here for VIX. And look how it's building the channel. So many months, so much pain and fake outs, so many tears going into following these stupid charts, and seeing that it's finally doing what we said it was gonna do in November is such a pleasure to see. The Federal Reserve, look at this. No one can tell you that this is not a breakout. RSI pointing up. Any of these breakouts, look at the performance when you look at the vertical green lines. Just stop the video and appreciate what can come after one of these with high likelihood. Nothing is guaranteed. We got this one as well with the Federal Reserve. We got this one with the Nasdaq that we call out again mid-September. Here we are in an uptrend, hitting the first resistance after confirming the retest on the price as well. Beautiful. And the dollar index as well. None of them have failed so far. They're all calling for a big rally. Guys, if you want to trade with an excellent exchange, I use myself Bybit for trading manually, for trading with my bots. I connected to 3 commas, Ganium, Week Hunter. If you use my link in the description, you can get 30,000 in rewards depending on trading volume. You also get the lowest fees with that same link in the description. And you can connect it to my website and use your trading volume to get access to all my indicators. It is a great exchange, but it requires KYC. If you want an exchange hassle-free, you have Bluefin. This one doesn't require KYC, neither VPN. You can use it anywhere in the world. It takes 5 minutes to create the account, fund it, start trading with leverage, altcoins, BTC, Ethereum, everything. And if you use my link in the description, you can claim up to 10,000 in bonuses based on trading volume, the lowest fees again. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye bye.